American Pie: The Book of Love is the seventh installment in the American Pie movie franchise. Set and released 10 years after the original film, it takes an entirely new cast through pretty much all the same gags. Not less than 2 minutes into the film, one of the main characters is thinking of using a peanut butter sandwich instead of the traditional pie to improve his alone time. The plot follows a trio of all new virgins, Rob, Nathan and Lube, trying to get their first encounter with a lady. Unsurprisingly, they all have bad luck, which leads to Rob accidentally setting fire to the school's library. Ordered to clean up the inferno he's created, he stumbles across the Bible, also known as the Book of Love. Created by Mr. Livingston, or Jim's dad, they try to make out what's written between the smudged advice and burnt stories, before realising it would be easier to go through all the library's records, find everyone who helped write it, and ask them what they wrote. Although not the most complicated of plots, it does have moments where you don't see what's coming next. I don't want to spoil too many of these moments for you, but suffice to say I can't believe the guys get laid in the end and Stifler gets taken from behind by a moose. Yes, you heard me right, Stifler's back. Well, sort of. He's played by a guy who never quite gets it right. Sure, he knows how to party, but after 10 beers, who doesn't? He overcompensates, but it's a thinly veiled attempt at copying Sean William Scott's performance, and to be quite frank, it just gets on your tits, and not in the nice way. One of the main things I noticed in this installment was the use of daydreams. The writers must have gone on a Family Guy and Scrubs marathon before writing all of this, because every 5 minutes they're daydreaming about girls in their bras. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining, I just think it was done for the sake of it and not because it was funny. It was as if the writers knew the story wouldn't hold up on its own, and they knew boobs would bring in the crowds. One thing the movie does have going for it is the casting. At least you can believe these actors are in high school, and the acting could go head to head with any other teen comedy out there, which begs the question, why didn't they release the film as a movie in its own right? No American Pie label, no recycling Stifler's characters, and no reusing a lot of the same songs. I think it would have achieved better success as a one-off or even the beginning of a whole new franchise. The tie-ins with Nadia and Jim's dad were not enough to make me care about the characters as extensions of the original trilogy. It felt a lot like when Saved by the Bell was axed and the new class was introduced. Just because Screech is involved doesn't make it worth watching. Which reminds me, he makes a 20-second appearance which I'd be hard-pressed to even call a cameo. Judging it without the American Pie label, I thought it was okay, albeit a little unoriginal in places. With the label, it was awful. I found myself wondering why I was bothering with this phoned-in version of the original cast. Take our advice, Universal. Nobody wants any more American Pie spin-offs. Start a new franchise. You could call it Sandwich.